Today's conversation is an invitation into an inner shift that can reshape an entire life. With Stephen Golden, author, spiritual teacher, and guide in unlocking human potential, we explore the art of stopping negative thinking in its tracks and reframing the moment with clarity and power. This episode dives into the fusion of ancient wisdom, new thought philosophy, and modern quantum ideas to reveal how quickly the mind can transform when given the right method. Welcome to the show. It's such an honor to have you.
Reverend Stephen Golden, Doctor of Divinity, thank you for having me.
Mhm. And you teach that negative thinking can be interrupted instantly. So, what is the core principle behind that immediate shift?
Well, it's very important to understand what you think about is what you bring into your life. And if you're having negative thoughts, you're attracting negative energy into your reality. And that can be adjusted by having positive thoughts of happiness, joy, love. That shifts everything.
And
One of the famous quotes from Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind, Religion, thoughts are things.
yeah, 100%. And how does someone know the shift is authentic and not just a momentary distraction?
Well, just trying it within a day or typically a day to 3 days, everything is completely shifted. And then seeing and feeling the shift of everything in a person's life, then continue on with that. And then whoever it is will have the ability to create the reality in their life, whatever they want or whatever they desire. The intentions and desires, when you have the positive thoughts and you have self-love, that is a total aspect of creation of reality in your own life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And your response also helps listeners to understand the difference between temporary relief and real internal redirection.
Well, it's very interesting that as I have gotten into the path of understanding the truth of who all humans are, now my purpose on earth is to help influence, educate, and awaken humanity, because if I can do that, and when I do that, I help people change their aspects in their lives. And I've already done that with a lot of people, massive amounts of people. I'm very blessed and honored to be able to do that. But before I got into the understanding of the spirituality, which was really the foundation of all, before things became religions, there were spiritual foundations of understanding the divine source, most people call God, is really the infinite power and presence everywhere. And everything is energy. And now science calls that the quantum field. So what you're vibrating out is what you're attracting into your human life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And people often feel overwhelmed by the speed of their own thoughts. So, what's the most effective 1 minute practice you have seen pull someone out of negativity?
The, the most important thing that I've taught a lot of people to is when they wake up in the morning, go sit in a place where there's no noise, disturbance, sit quietly, take in a deep breath in through the nose, close your eyes, and blow out like you're blowing out of a straw. Do that 6 times. And they can start asking in the internal voice questions to the divine source or the guardian angels, and start just thinking, I am filled with pure love, joy, happiness. Breathe in, think that, and then blow out. All the negative thoughts are gone. And that will shift their day immediately. And I have had so many people say that has just changed their day immediately. I'm very blessed about that. But I learned that, and now then I did it, and it changed my life. And now I can help other people change their lives.
Mm-hmm. That's great. And why do you think simple techniques tend to be the most powerful than complex ones?
Well, and some of those people that are out teaching are creating way more stuff. And it's really about understanding that we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. And so when you start thinking in a positive fashion, you start creating and making self love. Go look in the mirror and say, I love me. I love me. And that is a mirror of the divine source. And you will feel the energy shift in your body just from doing that. I just did. I just felt that right there. And it's not a super complex thing. It's about understanding what you think about is what you bring about. And when you begin having self love and creating that to yourself and making it happen, that will shift everything. So that makes it easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And it also highlights the accessibility and empower listeners to try the methods themselves.
Well, and understanding and believing in the truth of who you truly are, that will help create and shift your life into whatever your intentions and desires are.
Mhm. And you bridge spiritual wisdom and modern science. How do these two worlds come together when it comes to reframing the mind?
Well, reframing the mind is not really, it's just really talking about and thinking about the truth of who you are. And some people call that being enlightened. And the soul is truly made of love, freedom, creation, and abundance. If you think that, when you start going into that, that in itself changes it. But something else I learned too was that most humans didn't know the true self, because when you're born and you're told about maybe your parents, your grandparents, your great grandparents having health issues, that's programming your subconscious mind. And now, this other thing called neuroscience is that creates the programming in your subconscious mind, which is some they call the supercomputer, because what your conscious spots are is programming the subconscious mind. So when you're a little child and you're hearing about heart problems, cancer, that kind of thing, you can shift that and get away with it. Otherwise, your subconscious mind may create that in your life. And knowing that you are truly a spiritual being in a physical body, you are connected fully with the divine source, the energy, and you can eradicate what they call genes from the body, because that is not really truthful. It's what your subconscious mind is being programmed to do, which is really what is the amazing aspect of it. So, and I also said, even Jesus used to say, I am blessed, I am healed, I am guided, I am provided, I am one with the divine source. And Jesus even said, the Father and I are one, and the kingdom of heaven is within. And Jesus was a powerful human, spiritual human. We all have that power and presence within us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I absolutely agree. And is there a specific teaching or scientific insight that consistently resonates with people?
Well, there was Ernest Holmes created this thing called science of mind, and they call it science of mind religion. Back in the late 1800s, Emmett Fox created this thing called the Golden Key, which I actually created a prayer. But even before, really, back when Siddhartha Gautama was born, and he went and sat under a tree for 49 days and became enlightened. And they call that tree now the Bodhi tree. That means enlightened, you know that. And he really created Buddhism, which is just a really spiritual foundation. Hinduism is also a very spiritual foundation. So what you're asking is, people, after they crucified Jesus when he was 33 years old, They King James and the Roman Empire created Christianity as a religion, and they used some of his apostles, not all of them. And I learned all that too, because I was actually in a Christian religion when I was raised as a young child into my teens. And what they don't teach is that Jesus even says that the Father and I are one. I already said that. And the kingdom of heaven is within. Well, why did they crucify Jesus when he was 33 years old? That was King James of the Roman Empire. And talking with some very understanding people, this gentleman who was a founder of Emerson Theological, which is it's a science of mind also. He said, that's a great question. What do you think? And I did some meditation, and I heard in my internal voice was, they crucified him because they were in fear of him, because he had the power and the presence. He could make the blind people see, the crippled people walk. He brought Lazarus back from the dead, and he could walk on water, turn water into wine. And because he was so powerful, they were in fear of him. That's why they crucified him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it also gives space for a multidimensional perspective that challenges conventional thinking.
Well, if you have a challenge, you release it. I released that, and now I'm free. And it gets rid of the challenge and the negative thoughts, and all that stuff goes away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And many people struggle to trust their intuition when negativity takes over. How do you guide someone to reconnect with their inner signal?
It's very simple. Not to reconnect, they're already connected. We are all one with the divine source. It's now to learn to think in your conscious mind that you are one with the divine source, and the power of the presence is within. It's really learning the truth of who each and every human is on this planet Earth. So it's just understanding that, and start having positive thoughts of joy, love, happiness. That already will shift, and any person will experience a change in their life.
And you often say that people already have everything they need within them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
every human is a spiritual being having a human experience. It's not that it's an external being. God, the divine source, is not an external being. God is the infinite power and presence everywhere, knows everything. There's no other power but God. We are all one with the divine source. And just knowing and learning that in your conscious mind is already going to shift things into your subconscious mind, and your emotions and feelings will shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what internal awakening do you see when someone finally believes that?
It's about believing, it's about just doing. And when things already start adjusting and shifting in their life, they're a co-creator here on earth. So saying believing is not believing something that's external. It's just starting to understand and know that we are all one with the divine source. And I went through that in my own life too. And when I started having creativity of my intentions, desires, and things were showing up, I was, oh, I am so honored and so blessed. Now I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And does this shift naturally lead to a different choices, habits, or relationships?
Oh, yeah. It's about relationships, it's love, it's abundance, it's everything, any desire and intention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And your insight here also inspire a vision of transformation that feels both attainable and profound.
Well,
Mhm.
you're asking some kind of things that create a thought that it's eternal, and it's not. It's not external. We are all eternal beings. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely does. And as we close, may this conversation remind listeners that negativity isn't a life sentence, it's a moment. And moments can be reshaped. The ability to reframe instantly is a human power we all carry, waiting to be awakened. Let today's insight encourage everyone to pause, breathe, and choose a new thought with intention. Transformation begins in a single instant, and that instant can be now.